Hi, I'm Anthony H, and today I'd like a few minutes just to talk to you about an issue that has greatly impacted my life, and that is meningitis. Now, anyone who's anyone knows someone, or knows someone that knows someone who's had it. I'm going to briefly explain today basically what meningitis is, and also septicemia and how it's contracted. A basic way of explaining it, it's a membrane around the brain and spinal column. That's basically the lining, a protective lining, gets inflamed. Now the membrane and the lining itself is called the meninges. I'm hoping I'm saying that right, but basically this is caused when that gets an infection. There are 5 types of meningitis, all very rare, but 2 are more common than the rest, and that's viral and bacterial. Now, as this is an infection of the brain and spinal column, infections can and will spread. Now, the only place it will spread, well, not the only place it will spread, the main place it will spread to is the bloodstream. This is when they call it meningococcal sepsis. This is the septicemia part. This is basically an infection of your bloodstream. Now, I have to stress that all of these are very rare, but very serious, life-threatening, and can and will change your life. For those unlucky enough to contract this disease, the survival rate is around 1 in 5. But what is almost for definite and an almost certainty is that you will suffer some permanent consequences. Amputation is a big one. Usually the extremities, fingers, toes, but arms and legs aren't uncommon. The next one you can and will get are burn marks. Now, these burn marks are purplish brown in colour. They can be very big, but most part they are quite small. They will heal, and they will heal to look like a burn. Usually a shiny, silvery like feel to it when once healed. It does take a couple of years to fully heal. As this is an inflammation and infection of the brain and spinal column, it makes the brain swell. Now, when the brain swells, it hits the inside of the skull, kind of like a major concussion, and can cause brain damage. Anything from blindness, deafness, down to motor functions, not being able to hold anything or comprehend what's going on around. That is a major possibility. Hearing loss is a big one as well. Many do come out deaf, unfortunately. Also, kidney damage. These are the more common of the consequences of surviving the disease, but there are others. Now, each person will have their own consequences. This will all be dependent on the age you contract it, your fitness, and how fast you notice the symptoms, which we'll go through later on, of the disease. I, from personal experience, know that if it's caught when you are of infancy or growing age, that it will affect how things grow and how bones and ligaments deteriorate. One thing I will stress, please get checked out. If anything doesn't feel right, anything doesn't look right, please get checked out. GP first, and they will direct you to where you should go. But please do get checked over, because the longer you leave things untreated or unlooked at, things can go terribly wrong. Meningitis is more common in young children and young adults. It is commonly mistaken for the flu, or in young adults for a very, very bad hangover. There are many symptoms for both meningitis and septicemia. They're very, very alike. So I'll go through a few of those through with you. If you do have any of the symptoms, please do get yourself checked out as soon as possible. Severe headaches are one of them. With that, a disliking of bright light. Now, I'm not talking someone turning the light on from a dark room. That would hurt anyone. I'm talking sunlight, the TV, any light you won't like. Pinprick rash. Now, many of you may have heard of the tumbler test, but if not, you see a pinprick rash. They do look like you've been pricked by a pin, hence the pinprick rash. Glass tumbler over the top of the affected area, and you roll the glass over the top. If it disappears, you're good to go. If the rash sticks around with the glass pressed up against it, it's time to worry. Very sleepy or very hard to wake is another one. Confused when they are awake, not knowing what day it is, the time, general questions, just a general confusion of the day. Seizures or fits. You may have never had one before, and you may never have one afterwards, but they are a massive symptom of meningitis and septicemia. Cold hands and feet, or shivering as well. Stiff neck. I'm not talking I slept funny stiff and I can't look this way because it hurts. I'm talking actually can't move your neck, can't touch your chin to your chest. You can't do it. It's not that it hurts, it's just that you physically cannot do it. Fingers, ankles, toes, knees, your hips, your back, your neck will hurt as well. Elbows, if they hurt, this is why they commonly get mistaken for the flu. Your muscles, you'll just feel totally drained. Your muscles will hurt as well. You'll have cold hands and feet, as I said, and breathlessness. Or meningitis is mainly spread through close living quarters, like uni dormitories or generally living in a house close to one another. It can be airborne, sneezing, coughing, through phlegm, saliva or spit, to people spitting, it can spread it. Keep your shoes off the floor or away from young babies or crawling infants, as you can tread in spit and not know it, and it could be on the bottom of the shoe. Sharing cutlery, sharing a toothbrush. I read that online somewhere. That's a strange one on me. Also, kissing is a big way of spreading meningitis. The only way to stop the spread of meningitis is obviously to stop sharing each other's toothbrushes. I'm joking. It's to get vaccinated. In the description below, there will be web addresses to meningitis research and phone numbers for a helpline, which we'll be able to talk more in depth if you have any questions. I also need to say thank you to Meningitis Research for the past couple of weeks, or past few weeks. They've helped me out with research and the t-shirts, bands as well. I have many of those if people would like bands. If anyone has any questions, do feel free to leave a comment below, ask any questions. If I don't know the answer, I'm pretty sure I can go and find out. I'll probably be quite intrigued as well to find out the answers myself. Thanks for watching, give this a like and subscribe. There will be more videos to come, and thanks for listening. Take it easy.